Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday. What is it? Friday, August 20th. I know I had that listed below, but I couldn't remember. Let me just make sure my camera is good here so you can square up my ugly face. How's everybody doing today? Appreciate you joining me. It's Friday, August 20th. I'll be on as long as you guys have questions. We'll wait for YouTube to notify everybody. And I see a lot of you guys jumping in earlier today. So hopefully we have a lively crowd. I'm in the mood for some questions. So fire them up, get them in the queue. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. I'm a little bit tired last night, stayed up. Thursday, usually we do a little bit of a movie night to kind of relax before Friday. Thursday is when I really try to get super caught up on client work. So on Friday, I have time to do lives and not be so stressed. So hope you guys are doing okay. Just a few notes. If you're new here, don't be shy. Post up your question. No question is silly, even if I've heard it 1,000 times before. If your question is not posting, either try to trim the length of your question. If it's still not posting, know that I'm not ignoring you. That YouTube is very funny sometimes. So you can hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman, if you want me to if you want to message me directly. Sometimes it can take me up to a week to get back on Instagram because of all the DMs I get, but I do answer everything. So let me know where you guys are at, how things are going. I know there's a lot of scares and news about the Delta variant. And now this morning I heard about the Lambda variant. So I hope you guys are safe and able to hit the gym. Let me know how things are going. Just before we get in, if you're interested in coaching, head over to my website right there, superlivingtoday.com. I do coaching for $80 a month. I'm with my clients every single day. It's no bullshit. I help you set up your training, diet, nutrition, monitor your exercise form, basically with my clients every single day. So you get out of it what you put into it. And if you want some Massive Iron gear, you can head over there, t-shirts, all kinds of t-shirt variations. And if you need workouts, tons of workouts as well. So before we dive in, let's talk about Arnold, okay? And I generally don't like to do politics. Nor do I really like to do COVID stuff, but I'm not going to share my opinion. You know, a lot of times when I do news stories on this channel, which are very rare, but you know, big news stories are fun to cover because I like the industry just like you guys. And yeah, but when I do news stories, I try to stay out of it. I try to be neutral. I just try to present the news to you guys and let you guys, draw your own conclusions because at the end of the day, lifting is a fun thing for me, right? It's a source of enjoyment, stress relief, and I don't like to turn it into politics or religion or COVID crap or whatever. But just curious what you guys think, about the whole Arnold situation. Will the Arnold Sports Festival be tainted, or is it just going to be a couple companies that are just like, whatever, and then everybody forgets about it, and in 6 months we'll see. So let's dive in. Stein is on top of his game here, back on tap, or back on track. And first, let me just check Facebook here because I run these on Twitch and on my private Facebook, but Facebook likes to make it friends only, so just want to make sure I'm good to go. All right, we're good to go. What's going on, Stein? And Richard Murray from Scotland. Your ears must be ringing because we continue to talk about getting a second home in Scotland. We're not Donald Trump, but there's some good deals in some certain cities for $150,000 for small little places, and that's kind of affordable. So we're tossing around that idea. All right, Tony Riccio, excited, love everything this dude has to say about lifting. I sincerely appreciate your support, man. I really do. The weekly plus one gathering. Yeah, for those of you that don't know what a plus one is, it's basically trying to get your plus ones. It's trying to get your one more rep than last week, one more rep than last week. It's a mentality of success. Basically, what I did to build my muscle and strength back in the day, I didn't have any complicated programs. I just tried to improve by plus one every workout. Stuart, have you ever missed a Friday Massive Iron Live? You seem to be super consistent. Excuse me. 1 week I did. 1 week I did. I forgot the reason. Actually trying to buy my first house, and I considered it this week like, nah, I'm going on. I can't do without a Massive Iron Live. But I'm a veteran and trying to get some things ironed out with a VA loan. So looking at a property, properties in this area are super hot. They go in like a couple days. So wish me luck. I'm going to try to secure that this weekend. He's massive. He likes iron. He's massive iron. Nothing could be truer. Josh, how's it going? Josh from Eugene, Oregon. And we got Justin from Hamilton, Ontario. I once played a show in Hamilton, or a couple of shows. I've not missed a Massive Iron Live since I found them almost 2 years ago. That's an incredible streak. And that's a lot of luck to hit that as well. So, Bree, greetings from Mongolia. Bree's a client of mine. I just spoke to her moments before going on. And Bree has hit a new low in weight, which I was really happy to see. On Friday, Monday and Friday is my clients weigh in. And when I see success on a Friday, it really, really makes me happy. Raphael, I'm representing New Hampshire, the healthiest state in the union. We actually looked at New Hampshire for a potential state to move to because they seem very, very aggressive in trying to recruit people to come live there. I got a hair in my mouth. Sorry. So, yeah, we actually looked at New Hampshire as a possible state to move to. But right now, we're kind of looking at staying in Ohio and just keeping our businesses here. Alvige, sorry. That was wasn't sure how to pronounce that, but appreciate you joining in. Adam, when eating clean, I'm just not thirsty. How much water do I really need? You know, Adam, I'm one of these guys that has to force myself to drink as well. And plain water, I mean, literally, it's not like I don't like the taste of water. It's like to sip on water to me is just, it's not something I'm super excited about. And yeah, you got to do what you don't want to do, right? But at night before bed, I make myself drink 8 ounces. When I get up in the morning, I make myself drink a bottle. And even though I do these things, 2, 3 a day, sometimes I cut them with water, like put a third of the Monster in with water just to give it a little bit of a flavor. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but man, how much water do I really need? That's a good question. My wife drinks endlessly, and she probably goes to the bathroom the same amount of times I do. And me, man, I'm lucky, I don't know, to get like 2 to 3 waters a day and 2 to 3 Monsters a day. So, we can kind of be in a state of a little bit under hydration, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there's so much focus on overconsumption of water these days. Drink water, and people carrying around a big old, gallon of water. I've never been that type of guy. I just kind of drink when I'm thirsty, and it seems to be working out okay. So I think during times, when it's hot outside, we have to be extra careful. Maybe get in an extra bottle or 2. Make sure we get in our electrolytes. Paul, what's up from Albuquerque? What's up, Paul? I think I strained my groin. It's painful to do squats. If there's sharp pain, that's a big warning sign. I've been pushing through pain for the last month. If you have pain that long, you need to stop doing squats. You need to stop doing exercises that aggravate it. Something is wrong. Mentally, it's very draining. Like if you have elbow tendonitis, that's going to be a really intense dell pain. And that's something that you're not at risk of really, any further injury other than making it worse. But if you have a pain in your groin and it's difficult to deal with, you need to stop doing exercises that are aggravating it, and you need to see a doctor. You can do leg work that doesn't aggravate it. Just try to get that as intense as possible. Jeremy from Columbus, right up the road, about an hour and 15 minutes away. We actually looked, Jeremy, at a house in Dublin 2 weeks ago. We were up there. Let me get some Advil here. I got a sinus headache. We actually looked at a house in Dublin. We were up in Dublin a couple weeks ago. And there was one house up there with land. We took a look at it, weren't impressed with it, and moved on. But we liked that area if we could find a house that wasn't super expensive. What's going on, Master Payne? And Timothy, what's going on? Timothy says, howdy, Mike. I don't know who Mike is, Tim, but I'll say howdy, Mike, as well. Smith Iron. Would I look silly if I removed the bench press completely and just did overhead press and said yes? Because they're two different types of exercises. The bench press is a horizontal press, and the overhead press is a vertical press. So back work is a horizontal row, and a pull-up is a vertical row. You need things to balance that out. So you need dumbbell bench. You need at least dumbbell bench in the equation. If you're looking at strength and muscle and balance and healthy shoulder girdles and all that kind of stuff, you need to have a good balance of overhead pressing and horizontal pressing or chest or bench type pressing. Lee, hi from England. I'm stuck on dumbbell shoulder press, 28 each side, 8, 7, 7. How many weeks, Lee? How many weeks? The first thing I'm going to ask you, Lee, is are you gaining weight? Okay? Because more than anything, and I see this over and over again with my clients, when you are in a calorie maintenance level or even losing weight, your presses are going to suffer the most. Even if you don't have a lot of strength. Some people, they can still build strength in a cut, but when it comes to pressing movements, most people tend to dive. So the first thing, Lee, I want to look at is, have you gained any weight in the last 2 months? If not, you probably need to be in a slight calorie surplus. If you are gaining weight, if you have gained weight consistently, or your diet is consistent, then we got to kind of look at some things, maybe change a few things, maybe change some rep ranges, that sort of thing. But Lee, I would be curious, number one, how consistent is your diet? Meaning, are you within your calorie target plus or minus 10% daily? And are you on track to gain about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a month? Maybe update me, and if you don't want to do it here, you can slide into my DM on Instagram, and I'd be glad to respond. Can we see more videos of you training? It was great to see your bent over row technique. I got a lot of videos. On here, and a lot of videos on Instagram, and a lot of videos on Facebook. But one of the things I am trying to do is get my website really organized so I can have videos, so I can have my videos more organized. So right now I'm working on getting my strength built back up. During the last 2 to 3 years of running, it's not like I haven't been lifting, but I haven't been really focused like I like to be on lifting. And right now, the last 7 weeks, I've really been focusing on my lifting hardcore. My deadlifts are going up. My bench is going up. I want to get back to the point where I feel comfortable with my lifts, to start sharing them. Honestly, the biggest thing that holds me back right now, Stuart, I'm not sure if you can see that, but my bench is right there. Okay, my bench is right there. My slingshot is right here. And I bench in my office. It's kind of like most of my gym is back there. I got 2 more rooms back there for my gym, but I have to bench in here just because of limited space. But the honest truth is I can barely squeeze. I'm trying to learn how to squeeze in time to lift again, because right now, during the pandemic, when they shut all the gyms down, honestly, I panicked. I thought I was going to lose all my clients. I mean, you wake up one day and your clients don't have gyms. You're like, no one's going to, pay for coaching. I'm screwed. So I worked really hard to, build a stronger client base. And a lot of it was at the expense of personal lifting time. So I have a really healthy client base right now. But I'm trying to reintroduce and take care of myself and find time to lift. And honestly, when it comes time to lift, I'm usually right here at the desk. Like, what I will do is I'll go do a set of bench. I'll come over here and do a client message or two. Then I'll go back and do a set of bench. So I don't often think about recording myself, if that makes sense. Not like I used to do when I was single and wasn't coaching. Big Spoon Bear, new viewer here. Really liked your video you did on Arnie. It was unbiased and well presented. Thank you. And I appreciate the fact that you didn't, pressure me into sharing an opinion, because it's a complex subject. Let's be real. It's a very complex subject. And, we all say things off the cuff sometimes that we didn't mean to say in a certain way. So I'm not standing up for Arnold, nor am I, against Arnold necessarily. My only opinion is a very complicated subject. And, you have to be careful how you phrase things in America. I mean, we have a very strong passion for the word freedom. And people, when you say things like that, people are going to react, even if they aren't informed, uninformed, or whatever. So it is what it is. I just like to lift, and it's just interesting. That's all. Freedom for me, not for thee. Big, hairy, ugly dude being mean to Uncle Dan. Those of you guys that missed it, I generally don't make videos where I reference comments, but I had somebody tell me that they never lifted more than 30-pound dumbbells, and I was wrong about what it takes to build strength, build muscle, and that lifting heavy weight was just going to get you injured and all kinds of stuff. How it goes. So I happened to click on the link to Uncle Dan's YouTube account, and it just looked like 155-pound 58-year-old guy, wasn't obese. Good job, Uncle Dan, right? I mean, seriously. But, he didn't have muscle mass. Let's be real. It is what it is. I'm not jabbing at him because he didn't, but you can't tell folks that you've never lifted more than 30 pounds and it's building muscle when you're not muscular. Okay. What's going on, David? Appreciate you joining in from Facebook. Highlands? Oh, no. Actually, where we're looking at moving is more up near John O'Groats. And I'll see if I can pull it up. For those of you guys that are bored and don't mind a little bit of an excursion for a second, Google Maps, we'll pull this up, right? We'll pull this up. And I'll show you where I actually did some searching on the worldwide inner tubes to find out where the cheapest places to live in Scotland were. And once I get this map up, it appears to be hogging my memory, my resources, because my video just got choppy. Imagine Google doing that. Hold on, I'm trying to get there. I'm going to show you guys. We researched some of the, okay, I think we're good to go. We researched some of the cheapest places to live in Scotland, and we were actually spent some time in this area, so it's not like we weren't familiar with it. Zoomy. All right, we'll kind of center it here. Zoom. So we're looking at the Wick area. Come on, you can do it. So Wick is right up here, and John O'Groats is right here, and the Wick area, it's a cute little town, and basically anything in Scotland is within a couple hours anyway. Which for me is no big deal. I don't mind driving for an hour, for groceries or whatever. So that's about it. I just wasted your time with some nonsense. Slim, what's going on? As far as I'm concerned, Arnold no longer exists. The most important thing the U.S. has is freedom. One of the things I will say with my wife coming over from Australia is that there's a lot of stereotypes about Americans. But one thing she was pleasantly surprised with is how welcoming people are. And we are a lot of things, good and bad, but we are very welcoming. And in general, we are very welcoming people. We like the melting pot. People are very interested. She's like, people are very interested in where I'm from and my story. And that's kind of a great thing about America. Where I grew up in just small town, middle America, I had Greek neighbors, Mexican neighbors, Polish neighbors, Hmong neighbors. It was that was just our block, and we didn't think about it. It was just kind of a little slice of America. So those were the days when we could make fun of each other. We would make this might get me canceled, but we would make jokes about Polish. We would make jokes about Hmong. We would make jokes about everybody, right? The Greeks. We would all make jokes about each other. And at the end of the day, we'd all gather on the porches and our parents would have a beer together and, they'd all laugh and it was okay. We didn't get butthurt. It was, the poking fun at each other wasn't mean spirited. It was just a different era. In some ways I miss it, not poking, not because I miss necessarily the joking around, but I miss the levity. I miss the simplicity. I miss people that weren't always, people that didn't get butthurt at every word, didn't scrutinize every word and look for an excuse to get hyper reactive. So, north and east. Yep, you got it. Northeast. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. I thought that said sex for a while. I thought I was in trouble. Not happy with the Arnold statement. I understand the backlash from fans. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with freedom. Arnold has the freedom of speech, and people have the freedom to react. And one thing we can't expect in a free country, people also have a freedom to be educated, not educated on different topics. Nobody's fully educated or uneducated on everything. And you're going to get a lot of people. You get a lot of people reacting to things just in general life without really researching it. And who has time to research all this stuff, right? So you're just going to get reactions. I'm listening at the gym. Good luck, Ben. Have a good session. Ben is a client of mine. I've been happy to work with him over the years. And have a good session, Ben. Will you and Uncle Dan make up? Nah, Uncle Dan could have custody of you, Josh, because I love you, Josh, but I don't need to make sure your room is clean. Uncle Dan can do that. How's your strength training been going? Good. It's been really good. I'm slowly moving up on squats and deadlifts and bench, and nothing feels challenging. Super challenging. The biggest key when you're moving back up in weight is to make sure your connective tissue does not, that you give it time to get up to speed. So my deadlifts have been slow. This week I did 400 for 2x5 on deadlifts, and it's light, but still I got to let my connective tissue adapt. So, it'll go, 425, maybe 450. And in a couple months, it'll be, I'm hoping by the end of the year, my deadlifts will be up to like 550 by 2x5. And then we'll just see what happens from there. Squats are going surprisingly well after 3 years of lifting. I'm taking those easy as well, but I think I hit like 270 by 2x5. Just, it's super easy. It doesn't feel challenging at all. I just got to watch my knees and my connective tissue again and let stuff go, move up where it can. Barbell rows, I hit 250 for sets of 5. Those are Penley rows, super light. I mean, rows for me are like my big thing. So nothing is feeling challenging. We're just kind of letting the strength come to us so I don't get injured. How many days a week do you lift? How many days do you lift a week? I like to lift 4. I've always liked to lift 4. I like to have the weekends off for running or hiking or relaxing. And I like to lift 4 days a week. I've always liked to lift 4 days a week. And in my opinion, that's kind of when you're a teen, you can lift more. I lift more when I was a teen, and I'm not criticizing anybody that does. But when I was a teen, I did more frequency, and I allow clients to do 5 days a week. So it's okay with that. But I just enjoy other things, running, hiking, that sort of thing. Is it possible to push too hard for the +1? Last set is the all-out set. Well, what you want to do, Stein, is you always want to practice safe sets. You push, but you never when form starts to break down or you feel you're going to fail on the next rep, it's a good time to stop. That's a general statement and not a rule. But yeah, you can push too hard. If, on squats, over the years, I've always left about 2 reps in the tank. Same with deadlifts. You got to be smart with these things. You got to play the long game. You got to take the safe reps when they're there and minimize the hard reps. There's a lot of folks that are pushing those hard reps. And one of them isn't a big deal. But when you lift over 35 years and you become an old lifter, 40, 45, 50, they start to become a big deal. So you younger guys don't always see that, but you got to kind of minimize that a little bit. New Hampshire is wonderful and the place is growing. Lots to do. Yeah, I hear the taxes are good. The quality of living is good. The main reason I love Ohio is I come from Wisconsin, so we have 9 months of winter, or we have 7 months of winter, tornado season. Then we have 3 months of summer where it's hot, humid, and every bug on the planet comes out, at the same time. And here in Ohio, it's a good mix. We rarely get thunderstorms, not compared to Wisconsin. We rarely get tornadoes compared to Wisconsin. The bugs here are minimal. We kind of had more 4 seasons. So Ohio to me is one of the perfect places just for many, many reasons. Can you elaborate on rest between days? Doesn't matter much. Rest between sets. People really overthink rest between sets so much. I mean, in my years of lifting and answering questions on forums and doing videos and all that kind of good stuff, the biggest question I get over and over again that I am surprised at is how much rest between sets. So from a scientific standpoint, the indication currently is that a little bit more rest for hypertrophy is generally better, a little bit more rest between sets. What I generally tell people is something more pragmatic. When you feel mentally and physically ready to go again, then go again. That can change on a given day, and that can change from set to set. After your first set of deadlifts, you might feel ready to go again in 3 minutes. After your second set, you might need 6 minutes. So sometimes it's better to be pliable than it is to apply rules, if that makes sense. And you also have the other end of the spectrum, which is rest pause training. I find a lot of value in rest pause training. Scientifically, many people we might not have the science in rest pause training. But I find the key thing I like about rest pause training isn't the restricted rest. It is the higher quality of reps. So what I mean is if you do 10 reps on bench, the first 7 might not be super quality. So if you do rest pause, and your second set, if you do 8 reps on bench, the first 6 might not be super quality. If you do rest pause, you still have that on your first set, but your subsequent sets are performed a little bit fatigued, so there's a little bit better rest quality, a little bit overall average rep intensity. Science, it hasn't really studied this to the degree it needs to, and I hope we explore this in the future. I believe there's values on both ends of the spectrum. Well, at the end of the day, getting a lot stronger than you are now is the key. I'm a big proponent of maximizing sets as well, but just keep rest normal, intuitive. I mean, there's no sense trying to force a 2 to 3 minute rest period in between sets of like cable tricep extensions if you're ready to go in 90 seconds. Is it normal to still get your plus ones and keep progressing when on a cut and in a calorie deficit? It depends, Stuart. This is a very complex question, and anybody that tells you there is a black or white answer for it is a fool, is an ignorant coach. The less strength you have, the more likely you are to build some strength during a cut. The more strength you have, the more likely you are to lose some strength during a cut. Now, with that said, there are nuances here. Pressing movements seem highly susceptible to calorie deficits, okay? So I see this over and over again on clients more than other types of lifts. Also, I have seen some clients, which I would consider just having good genetics or a superior work ethic, make progress over and over and over and over again on a cut. I had a client named David who was a local client. And I worked with David. He lost 60 pounds, nailed 2,100 calories every single day, super micronutrient-rich foods. After like 6 months, David was squatting 315 for 5, benching 225 for whatever, just a monster. He looked great, right? And he was ripped at 160 and just amazing progress. And he just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. But those are really rare cases. Faz, what's going on? Faz was over in Ireland trying to defect from England. A little bit warm in here. For those of you guys that missed it, I saw Jim Galligan, or Gaffigan, in Lexington this week. It was nice to actually get out and do something fun. And he did a lot of pandemic jokes, which were really welcome. What's going on, Felix from Colorado? Vinny P. Definitely ready to get on board, but waiting to hear my surgery date for the shoulder. Having to take 3 to 6 months pause. I hope that works out well for you, Vinny. And I hope that you don't have to be away from too many lifts for too long. How to get back into training after taking a long break. Stop taking long breaks. Danielle. No long breaks. I'm gonna do a little sidebar here, and I can't plead with you guys enough. Try to be consistent. If you have a rough time, just try to go to the gym twice a week for 30 minutes. Try to maintain that consistency. But Danielle, as far as how to get back into the gym after a long break, I made a video that on this channel, and just give me a second here, guys. If you go over to the main page of my channel, let's do it here. I want to show you this video because this is a lot better than. Let's see. Let's just do after a layoff. We're going to search in here and see what comes up. Training after an extended layoff. How to work out after a layoff or illness. Let's see. Natural potential. Let's see. There was a video I did recently. Let's try this. I'm trying to find one that's specifically back to the gym. How to train when you return to the gym. Okay. This is a really good video. Danielle and I would probably watch that, how to train when you return to the gym. And that is about a year ago. Just go into my channel or search that on YouTube. And I'm not pushing back the question, but that's a really good video that I would recommend watching. And what's going on, Paladin? Appreciate you joining in. How are you feeling recently, mental health wise? Me, mental health wise, the main thing I struggle with in life is stress. The pandemic shut my wife down for a while, and like I said earlier, I woke up one day and all my clients didn't have gyms. So I worked really hard to maintain a healthy client base. I enjoy coaching, obviously, and during that time, everybody needed new workouts. Those that stayed with me, how to home workouts, and I worked a lot of hours. I worked a lot of hours doing a lot of home gym workouts, and you kind of get in that you kind of gain that bad momentum where you're working stress, and you're not taking care of yourself as much as you should be. So we're working to return to that balance. We've been doing really good the last 7 months. On a mini cut, like 4 to 5 weeks, do you lose strength? Honestly, to put it in the words of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it doesn't matter. Yes, you probably lose some strength, but muscle memory is a real thing. It's going to come back. It's nothing to be worried about. It's a small cut. You might lose a few reps on a few exercises. Once you return back to normal, you'll be absolutely fine. It's not like it goes away. Once you have it, it's easier to regain it. I already answered that. That's a repeat. Sorry. I feel like I've been spinning my wheels. That's because, Steve, you have not hired me as a coach. Went down from 342 to 320 in 6 months, just lifting and dieting, doing a push-pull legs, push-pull. I was strapped for time, so I was thinking about keeping my push-pull legs, but doing 30 minutes of compounds and 30 minutes of cardio. Steve, my best advice for you is it's not the exercise. You want resistance training and you want general movement. Okay, so I would not chop your lifting down. The best advice, if I were training you, I'd probably say, Steve, go to 4 days a week and leave 1 day for maybe a little bit more movement. Okay. But what we need to focus on, Steve, for you is a lifestyle change. Where can we get these calories? What can we do as far as nutrition wise or diet wise to get you losing weight consistently? You are a 342 pound or 320 pound guy, and I'm not judging you because I started at 346. What I would recommend, Steve, is not necessarily intermittent fasting, but moving to maybe limiting your calorie intake during the day before dinner to 500 to 700 calories, focusing heavily on lean meats, fruits, and vegetables, and keeping an eye on calories. Because calories are going to be the driver, not micro adjustments of compounds, of lifting and cardio, if that makes sense. All right. Red Devil Dazzle, thank you. I appreciate the donation to the channel. And what do we got here? After a cut, would maintenance calories be the same as before the cut? More than likely, yes. It really depends on the length of the cut. But I've seen some pretty crazy things over the years. I've had a couple clients who were stubborn losers. We lowered their calories to 24 over time, 23, 22, 21. Then they kind of hit that sweet spot where they're losing weight, consistently. And then when the cut was done, we'd move it up to 2,300 and they're still losing weight. We'd move it up to 2,500. They're still losing weight. We moved it up to 2,700. They're still losing weight. Sometimes there's this weird thing, and I don't know what it is, but I've seen it several times. It's almost like a weight loss, like your body is just flipped the switch and is in weight loss mode. And it doesn't make any sense from a calories in, calories out standpoint, but I've seen it and it can happen sometimes. So there's some fluke things like that. But in general, yes, I would go right back to maintenance, watch the scale, and make adjustments from there. Greetings from Scotland. Tips to stop hips rising during deadlifts. So this is a common thing, and I actually got a video coming out about it tomorrow. Some things that have to do with the rising hips. If your hips are too high when you start, when you pull, they're going to go up. If your hips are too low when you start to pull, your body's going to adjust and your hips are going to come up as well when you pull. So working on consistent starting point for your hips, just a natural leverage position, is step one. Step two, make sure your weight is on your heels. If you're not sure, raise your big toe before you pull and then lower it back down. That way you can assure your weight is on your heels. Number three, instead of gorilla yanking the bar off the ground, think stand up with the bar in your hand. Even if it feels slower off the ground, that first inch, that's okay because you're maintaining good leverages and you're going to accelerate. Your power is going to accelerate. You're going to begin to generate more power. You want to really focus those first couple of inches in not yanking on the bar, on doing everything you can to keeping your hips stapled in place, and that's a discipline. Free AOL CD. Thanks for taking us back to 2000. Appreciate you joining us. How long should I maintain before I lean? But you don't have to go into maintenance mode at all. I mean, it's just kind of limbo, you know. After a cut, here's what's first thing. If you're on a cut, go 5 pounds deeper than you want to go for two reasons. Number one, when you go back to normal eating, you're going to pick up a little bit of water weight, so you're probably going to bounce up like 5 pounds. And number two, after a cut, you're probably going to want some Chinese, a pizza, 3 beers, or whatever. So you're probably going to have a little bit of water weight from that as well. So once you got that out of your system, you have a couple of high days, you can return to a lean bulk. So I wouldn't wait. I mean, that's just like torture. All right, we got a visitor in the studio. Next week, I get another dog.
Well, Baba, we'll have a brother.
Baba.
We'll have a brother.
This is Mr. Sausage.
Yes, we'll have a brother.
Thank you.
No Baba Sausage.
This is friend pal, buddy friend pal.
Yes.
I'm getting a sausage dog, my own. This is my wife's.
Yes.
But I'm getting a sausage next week, and because I have Peanut, my pit bull, and this is Butters.
Mr. Butters.
We have Peanut and Butters. My wife insists that the new sausage dog is going to be called Jellykins.
Mr. Jellykins?
Mr. Jellykins. So
me and Baba named him.
Yeah, I'm going to call him Little Harry, but probably Mr. Jellykins as well.
Well, that's his formal name.
Mr. Friend Pal.
Baba.
Okay.
Jellykins is his formal name.
Yes, his formal name.
Bye.
Well, I'll cover it with shmoo.
He loves kisses.
All right, back to the program. We're almost at 100 viewers, so I appreciate you guys. What do we got here? Richard from Scotland. The first 2 Alien films are classics, but how do you feel about all the ones that followed? 3 is watchable. Is 4 the one with the basketball where she falls in the pit? I can't even remember. I don't know, Richard. I want to like them, but I really don't. I don't know. The Prometheus films, like the Alien movies, had this grittiness, this reality to them. The first 2, they were dark. They were basic. There wasn't a lot of color in the movies, and then like some of the last 2 movies were more vibrant, bright, had more color. They didn't have the suspense. I'll watch them, but I'm always wishing they were something more, if that makes sense. Oh, Uncle Dan. Wrapping knees and elbows helps me lift heavier. Do you wrap up? I always wrap up on wrists, and I'm a big proponent of wrapping on wrists. I don't have my wrist wraps in here. But as you get stronger, you're going to have that instability on presses, and you want a little bit of support. You do. And there's a lot of voices out there that are like, just make your tendons weaker. Well, the downsides are worse, in my opinion. Excuse me. So I wrap my wrists on everything from push-ups to you name it. I used to wrap on squats, and now I just find it tedious. I'm not squatting heavy enough to really need to. And I just, to wrap and unwrap after each set of squats just is a little bit tedious. So I'm in Stonehaven. That sounds like a video game. Let me Google Maps Stonehaven. Last time I pulled up Google Maps and nearly ground my system to a halt. Stonehaven, Connecticut, or Stonehaven, UK. There is a Stonehaven, UK, a Stonehaven in Charlotte, Stonehaven, UK. We'll go with that. So where is the Stonehaven in the UK? All right, I'll share this with you guys so you don't think I'm a weirdo. All right, so I got Stonehaven, UK. There's Aberdeen. Oh, not far away. Oh, wait, I thought you're up there. Stonehaven. When we were in Scotland, we came down from Inverness down here. So I think we went through Pitlochry, and we never went over there on the far east. Should bent over rows always be to the chest? No, that's an arbitrary thing. Absolutely not. Just take them normal and natural. I never try, I don't even row to my chest. I just row to a natural position. I get this question a lot. Where do you row to? Your stomach, your sternum, your chest, whatever. Don't row to an arbitrary position. You don't want to row with your arms flared. Just arms natural, neutral, wherever. And the key thing is you want to focus on driving your elbows and shoulders back to move the weight. Opinions on the Bulgarian system, just forget it exists. Please do. Please forget it exists. These Bulgarians and Chinese and all these systems, people hop on them and they can be a meat grinder. They're not necessary, really. They're not going to speed up progress for the average lifter over time. Someone's going to say, I got 45 pounds off my squat on them. I know. It can happen. I'm just not a big fan of them because they can be a meat grinder. They have more potential downsides than good sides. There are some clients that have let run them, or not let, but I know that's safer for them to run them because they're not whatever. But just be super careful. My wife and I honeymooned in Wick, beautiful area, absolutely. And the real estate prices are good. I think we found a downtown. I call it a house, but it's called a house, but it was a property for like $100,000 and just beautiful, little, nothing fancy, a couple rooms and a kitchen and whatever. And, when you're old like me, it'd be a good stop. Good stop here in Scotland. Good question. Would you suggest buying vitamins separately or using vitamin packs? The answer to the question is actually, I would probably suggest both. What I mean is that a vitamin pack is going to have a broader base, okay? It's going to cover your bases. But there are certain vitamins we are deficient in, like B12, D3, that sort of thing. So in a vitamin mix, I would be, probably curious if the balance was there from one pack to another. I don't know. Me personally, as long as you're not going to OD on something like B12 or D3, I would probably do B12, D3, and a vitamin pack as well. Maybe I'm an idiot, but that's kind of how I would do it. Thinking of going further north too. As long as I'm within an hour of a big city, I'm good, so I can get the rare things I need. I travel all over with work. Nowhere is more welcoming than America. I appreciate your feedback on that, Ben. America is like every other country. We have good and bad, and we have poverty, and we have idiot politicians, but I don't think we're unique in that way. We're very different from how we are pictured. We have a lot of space here, which isn't something a lot of folks in the UK understand until they're here. But there's a lot of space, a lot of rural living. And the whole gun thing, there's many sides to the gun. You have the inner city gun things, like Chicago, which is just a war zone. But outside of that, like where I'm from, hunting and fishing and sustaining yourself is part of life. You can get a lot of food for your family, and that was part of my culture. And I know a lot of people don't understand the gun things, but a lot of the gun culture in America is rooted in that. We went out, we had to self-sustain, put food on. The guys I used to work with when I was, in factory jobs, they would hunt, they would fish, they would put a lot of food on the table for their family. And it was something they really enjoyed doing. And I don't think it's a bad thing in this day and age to work for your food. Big fan from Africa. I don't get many. I get a lot of folks from South Africa. I have clients from South Africa, but not a lot from Africa. Love your channel. Thank you. I watched an old video you made about muscle building potential for someone who is 5'11". Could you say for someone like me who's 5'10"? Basically, when your weight is about 5'10", and these are not rules, they're general guidelines. When your weight is about 5'10", and I use that because that's my height, your natural potential is about 178 to 80. That's your muscle mass if you had no fat at all. That's your body weight, if you had no fat at all and maximum muscle. So a rough guideline is for every inch above or every inch below that 178 to 80, you add 4 to 5 pounds or subtract 4 to 5 pounds. So for 5'9", it would be like 174 to maybe 175, if that makes sense. And then you add fat on if you want to be about 15% body fat. You can work it from there. When doing barbell rows, should my shoulders be internally or you're way overthinking natural position. You can't expect an immigrant like Arnie to appreciate freedom. I don't know, man. I mean, Arnie came over here and, for the opportunities that America brought, but, he aged and, as he got into politics, I don't know. He just kind of really got into politics. And, if you're really going to get into politics, I don't know, man. I'm a different type of person, okay? Like for me, lifting is my thing. Fitness is my thing. Helping people get to where they want to go is my thing, right? And do I have beliefs on things? Yes. Are they more important than you guys? No, they're not, because that's side stuff for me. My life's goal, my life's mission is this stuff. So I will never let anything get in the way of us communicating like this, because that's how important this is for me, right? I don't have to share anything. I don't have to share political ideas. I don't have to share my views on COVID. I don't have to share my, spiritual beliefs, or I don't have to. That's not me. But, like Arnold, you have this huge, huge legacy of your movies. And his passion became politics, right? Rather than helping people, it became almost more important, to be political than to help people reach their goals. I mean, let's be real here. Arnold doesn't have always a great track record. He put out some pretty shitty supplements, right? Doesn't always have the best, track record of the best business decisions compared to some guys that build a business in this industry and have good business decisions. So I don't know. He was what he was on screen, and he was always he was a magnet on screen, right? He was just fun to watch, and the movies were generally fun and everything. And Arnold was bodybuilding. Arnold captured the bodybuilding world. But I don't know, man. If I had that kind of legacy with film and with lifting, if that was me, I'd just be all about the lifting. That's me. That's my passion. I never want to let beliefs, anything get into that world for me. And whatever your world is, in my opinion, there's just value in doing the thing you were built to do, right? And not letting anything else tear it down. For me, that's a sign of weakness, right? For me, that's a sign of weakness. Will light jog a couple days a week? No, absolutely not. The body is not that fragile at all, not in any way. You could run 4 to 5 times a week for an hour. If you ate enough, your body would adapt. It's push day. Go get it, man. Go get some plus ones. If I aggressively mini cut 1 month and 7, well, I lose. We gotta get out of this mindset, right? We got to get out of this mindset of will I lose? You're going to lose size and strength. It's a cut. The point is to lose size and maybe some muscle size with it. And I'm not picking on you, Australian, but I want you to understand muscle memory is real. It comes back. It comes back much easier after you've had it the first time. Focus on what you can control. If you want to aggressively do a mini cut, get the fat off. The muscle will come back. The muscle will come back, guys. We need to put to death this fear of losing muscle and strength. You guys act like it's not permanent, okay? It's not permanent. It's just temporary. And the science shows us you'll lose very little muscle, if any at all. The current science really says you're not going to lose any muscle. I'm not trying to bust your balls straight. I just really want to educate you guys because I get this question a lot. Who cares if you lose 2 reps on your bench? You know, you're trying to lean down. They will come back. Trust me. I did it. Supplements for joint health. Okay, so let me see if there's only one supplement for joint health that I use. And this was put together by Robert Chinetsky when Robert was still around. And hold on, I gotta find it. Hold on, guys. Don't go anywhere. I gotta find an Amazon page that doesn't require me to log in with 2-step authentication, all that kind of monkey crap. All right. So hold on. Joint holder. What kind of weird stuff is that? There's one supplement that I use. And my wife has been using it forever. And it is Joint Support XT. Okay? And I will share that. I've been in contact with these companies every time they go out of stock. This is Joint Support XT. It is currently in stock. So if you can grab it, grab it. Shinetsky used to recommend this. We've used it for almost 2 years. And it is, as far as joint supplements, cutting edge as far as science. And from a practical standpoint, just using it for 2 years, my wife swears by it. We actually, every time it comes in stock, we order 5 bottles of this. That's how much of a fan we are of this joint support supplement. I have no affiliation with the company. I'm not going to give you a secret link so I can make a buck off your sales. It is what it is. All right. Hope you don't mind the cold wind blowing up in the north of Scotland. No, man, I'm from Wisconsin. Not at all. Cool air is like fuel for me. I can run, I can lift, I can feel free, I can dance in the fields like a fairy sprite, all that kind of good stuff. Da, da, da. Call 45 old again. You might just lose a client. Yeah, you don't really get to old till you're like, I would say like 53, 54, you really need to start paying attention. What do we got here? Last week, OHP 55554. Today, 5557. That's huge. Anytime you can get a +1 on overhead presses, that's huge. Anytime you get a +2, that's like Santa Claus bringing you the best. That's like the year Santa Claus brought you the best present ever. And +3 is like winning the lottery. It's like winning the lottery on OHPs. How do you feel about including band work? I feel band work is for shoulder health, doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, that could be worthwhile. You have to determine the value though, because we live in a world where there are so many prehab, rehab, protocols for this, for your knee health, for your joint health. You have to determine whether there's value for you. And that comes when the rubber meets the road. So band work for strength, I'm not a fan at all. Band work for shoulder health, do your research, try some things. and keep what feels good for you. Would you recommend elbow sleeves for benching? I don't know. I'm not against them, and I would probably have you try them because they're inexpensive. Wrist wraps, yes. If you have elbow tendonitis, VersaGrip Pros for your elbow tendonitis. If you have elbow issues, a little bit of warmth, a few extra warm-up sets isn't a bad thing. So there's little downside to using them. Your deadlift is strong. How often do you pull from the floor? I generally, when I am up to peak strength, only every other week. What I typically do is floor pulls 1 week, and then the next week I pull from 3, 5, or 7 inches. Sometimes back in the day with chains. Do I do a lot of accessory work? My philosophy on the deadlift is to get everything from head to toe as strong as possible in human quad strength and human back strength. I posted on Instagram this week, I believe 230 by 10 on single arm dumbbell rows. If you can do that, I got my barbell row up to 405 by 5. If you can do that, if you can do a pendlay row for 405 by 5, imagine how easy a deadlift is going to feel. So that is my philosophy. Quad strong, back strong, traps and yoke strong. I do a lot of trap work. I do a lot of yoke work, that sort of thing. When splitting a muscle group into 2 workouts over a week, how do you structure it? There's many ways to structure it, okay? So what we have to do is look at weekly volume. And weekly volume can start about 10 to 12 sets, whatever. Doesn't really matter. That's just a starting point, not a rule. So when I am structuring a muscle group over 2 workouts a week or an upper-lower type of split, what I typically do, let's say on chest and shoulders, one workout I'll lead with chest and then follow with shoulders. The next workout I'll lead with shoulders and follow it with chest. So I kind of alternate between chest, shoulders, and then I'll add the arm work or whatever the extra work is at the end. Goku and Vegata in the house. All right. I enjoyed buying your courses, workouts on PDF. Do you have any new ones coming out soon? Thank you, sir. Yes, I do. Let me just, I don't know if I can actually get this up on here, but I got some planned. Let's see, where's my to-do list? I keep a to-do list, and it's not on there. I do have some planned. Hold on, I'm going to find my to-do list because I'm a goofball right now. I'll give you guys an idea what I got coming up. If I can find time to do it. All right, here we go. Inbox. I got a program called Massive Lifts, okay? What I'm basically going to be doing is what I thought I would do is take the strong lift starting strength type of program and list out all the things I don't like about it, and then build out how I specifically would change it, and then provide a program alternative called Massive Lifts. I also have a workout coming, which I haven't named yet, which is basically 2 sets per exercise, but it's going to be more intense per set. So those are the 2 I have coming up soon. What's up, Dave? Missed your sexy name. Greetings from the GB. Just trained like an inmate when they had weights. I know it's all the rage to pretend like they had some magic secrets, but all they had was time and food. Who do you think had better genetics, Sergio or Flex? I don't know, man. That's a tough call. I mean, Sergio, I don't think had the best overall symmetry, right? I'm trying to find a good picture of Sergio here. I mean, you could argue like physiques like Sergio's and Arnold's didn't have the overall best symmetry and balance and all that kind of stuff. But there was something about the physique that just looks great, right? Just looks great, like everything. The thickness around the side of the abs, those big thick calves. Compared to his arms, his legs almost look undersized a little bit. Those juicy forearms, right? Those juicy forearms, just high delts, prominent chest. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Sergio's physique. Flex looks good, but there's something about Sergio for me that, I don't think you can beat. I like doing Romanian deadlifts for hamstrings, but I have lower back problems. Any hamstring exercises that are easier on the lower back? Yes, and I'm going to see if I can find it real quick for you now. This is one thing I do, and it's not, let's see. Let me see. Every time I want to find it, I have a hard time finding it, but if I can find the specific video, I just shared it with a client this week, and a lot of times I got to actually go into Google search. Hold on, guys. Don't go anywhere. Let's get that number back up to 100. Post up your questions now while I'm looking for this, guys. Post up your questions now. Let's see. And that way we will have tons in the queue, so I can keep rolling. One thing I do is a glute ham raise on a back extension machine. So I have a back extension. I can't find it right now, but I have a back extension machine. And instead of just doing a back extension, when you come up, you go up on your knees, right? So you really get in a kind of a glute ham raise. So that's what I would recommend. That's a really good addition to maybe leg curls. Stand up with the bar tip helps me out a lot. It's a big one. Too many people yank or pull on the bar on deadlifts instead of just trying to stand up. Standing up helps keep your body in a natural and neutral position. Free AOL CD got a shout out indeed. And you can also get free coaching, free AOL CD for only $80 a month. See what I did there? Cute dog. Thanks, Paladin. When the dog shows your soft side by accident, yeah, I try to hide it. I can be I'm like two sides of the coin. If somebody angers me, I'll tell them to shut up. Like if somebody's outside my office blasting their stereo, I'll go out and tell them to turn it off. But I don't know. I try to be kind. They're very sweet dogs. Yes, indeed. I never thought the wiener dog would be. He's just fun and he's friendly and he's playful. He's just a great dog overall. My uncle had one named him Oscar. That's too funny. Uncle Dan just put up what's a VR? What did I miss? I had two wiener dogs named Peanut and Butter. No, we're gonna have Peanut. The Peanut's hiding back there. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but if you look below the black curtain, there is where it is. Where is it? A white. That's actually a fold-out table. I'm blocking Peanut from coming into the studio because when she's in here, she snores like a chainsaw, and it's very distracting when you are trying to answer questions. How often do you get DOMS? DOMS, muscle soreness, a couple things to understand. It's very area specific. I've never gotten, only a couple times have I gotten shoulder soreness. I typically get chest, tricep soreness, hamstring soreness, no real quad soreness. So we can't connect soreness with growth. We also have to understand that the connective tissue has 9 times more sensory neurons. Okay. So there's a chance a lot of the soreness you're experiencing isn't the muscle at all. It's a connective tissue in and around the muscle. And each muscle area has a different connective tissue profile. That's generally why I suspect, and maybe science will one day catch up with me, that different muscle groups have different degrees of soreness. When I die, please let the world know when science catches up to me that I was here first. Sounds like a town in Dark Soul. That's what I was thinking. Thumbs up on the channel, guys. Thank you. Glucosamine sulfate only one that's been shown to help with joints. That's not true, John. That's the Joint XT. If you look at modern science or some of the modern studies or information on examine.com, the ingredients in Joint XT are basically the best we have right now as far as what's put together based on science. America is the greatest country ever to exist. Facts. Well, it's a lot of people will tell you that. So I love my country, but my country has a lot of people trying to divide it in two right now, and I think that's the biggest issue. Not that we have differences, but people keep trying to exploit our differences for their gain. Watching your vids and taking your advice has been a game changer. Thank you, Paul. I'm glad, because every day you wake up and you get on here and you say stuff, and then people in the real world follow it, and I take that seriously. Arnold had a great legacy, I'm assuming you mean. When does it make sense to do bulldozer training? When you've established probably a track record of training a year hard and you're making really good progress during that year, then I would probably consider bulldozer training. All right, let me get a drink. Keep the questions coming, guys. We're rolling this Friday. You guys must not want to do work, which is okay. I've always had DOMs after each workout through life. Some have them and some don't. It depends, and they can change over time as well. Hey, bro, new subscriber. I appreciate you joining me. Post up a question if you have anything, but if not, I just appreciate the following. Is it possible? Yes. To build big forearms while using VersaGrips? Yes, absolutely. I've never done any forearm work, and my forearms are huge. The thing you guys need to understand about forearms and neck work that guys like Alpha Destiny don't understand, and this is not a dig at him, but he's just a younger kid than I, and he doesn't have the same experience levels as I, and he hasn't been around the same people as I. Forearm and neck grow just from a battery of doing normal work, normal resistance training. And you generally don't need extra forearm work. My forearms are huge, and I've never really done direct work. And that's going to be the case for most people. Most lifters I know, experienced lifters, have pretty good forearm size, and they don't do any work. So do you want to do a little bit extra forearm work? You could. Just do something like a wrist roll or something that makes sense. Grip work also is not the same as forearm work, so just understand that. If you don't wear VersaGrips, you're going to end up with elbow tendonitis. Trust me, you will. I do some stretching and it feels better. Any hamstring exercises that are easier on the lumbar? Sorry, we just covered that. I can wrestle. I arm wrestle. Can I work hand, wrist, and forearm every day? The idea that you need to work something every day is way off the charts. We do not. More is not better. That's the flaw in what you're trying to achieve, Roger. Like I'm no expert on arm wrestling, so I do not know what their training protocols are. But training wrists and forearms every day sounds like a good way to get an overuse injury or elbow tendonitis. Before the mass monsters still looked human. After the golden era, Mr. Olympians just look ridiculous. And you know what? Let's be real here. They're not healthy. They're not generally healthy. They take a cocktail of drugs. They're at a weight that's that makes it difficult for their heart to sustain, is what it is. Look, I love muscle mass. Okay, I love muscle mass. And I love strength. But I love having the balance of being big and strong and being able to run for 50K. It feels amazing. Now, you guys don't have to be runners, right? But if you get, we gotten so big that we are functionally can't ride a bicycle, or run 2 miles, it's lost its way. That's not health and fitness. Are you lifting today, Jeremy? No, I will be doing chesticles tomorrow when I get in office early. Great Massive Iron live today. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it. Adam, I love how you don't bring YouTube drama or any other type of garbage like that on your channel. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Occasionally I mention somebody's name or talk about a topic, but I try to be fair. And, in this day and age, if you mention somebody's name, you do get drama comments, drama. I'm going to disagree with ideas. And, but I'm just trying my best to, at the end of the day, what I do is for you guys. I'm trying to bring content for you guys. I'm trying to bring something of value for you that helps you get to your goals. So when I talk about something, the goal is to help you guys understand. That's as simple as that, or help you guys improve. Is it worth it to do deadlifts for muscle building? 110%. 110%. You can't quantify some exercises. You just can't. The deadlift is great overall. It's like the icing on the cake. Rate Jeffrey Verity Schofield from 1 to 10. Hi, Jeffrey. We appreciate you joining us, Jeffrey. I would rate you at an 11. Should I drink a gallon of water a day? Look, just drink your water. Don't underdrink it. I'm not going to set any arbitrary, goal like that. Should back set volume have to be higher than chest volume? It can be, because the back can take a beating. So I would. I always aim to get a couple more sets in for back. I just love training back. They at least have to be equal. And someone will whip out some arbitrary goal and say this and that because it's shoulder girdle health, all that kind of stuff. Just overthinking, Chris Bumstead has a pencil neck. I don't follow a lot of these guys. I know their names. Like, I know the name of Chris Bumstead, but now I'm going to Google him. I don't get anything crude or rude. Like, there's a lot of guys I've worked with and a few guys that I haven't worked with. You know what? He doesn't have a pencil neck. He just has a weird looking neck. I guarantee his neck's bigger than here we go. Definitely not a pencil neck. You can see his neck circumference isn't that far off from his head. So, he just has a weird looking neck. Even the guys like Lobline or whatever that look like they have small necks, their necks are, pretty big. They're probably 17 inches. I'm a Jeff fan. That's because you're Jeff. I can attest to the value of straps. I have awful elbow tendonitis. Since using straps, my elbows feel great. It was a complete game changer for me. Stuart Davies, plans for the weekend. Work. I'm going to get in a 2-hour run. I'm going to work chesticles. I might work legs on Sunday. And I got to get some stuff together for my attempt to buy a house. Got to do a lot of client work. I got 2 new clients. And I'm going to go to the Dayton Dragons minor league baseball game on Sunday for my weekly escape. Is locking out fully bad for you? No. Here's what we need to understand. When it comes to exercises, there's no black or white. Locking out, training to failure, whatever. So I don't ever think about locking out my knees during a leg press or a squat. It's nothing I ever think about, probably nothing I ever do. But I wouldn't, try to lock out your knees on a leg press or on a squat. Me too. All right. I think you're talking about Jeffrey. Uncle Dan has no muscle. Uncle Dan doesn't have any muscle, but I'd like to train him. All right, guys. Last call for questions. Get him in now, or else I'm going to jump ship. This is the last one. Do you recommend Low Blinders supplement line? I will say, at Tiger Fitness, there's a lot of care put into like the outright bars and the protein powders, and there is often disagreement, on which flavor was good, which flavor was bad. They took flavoring very seriously and quality very seriously. I don't know as far as this vitamin pack. I have not looked at it, so I do not know what the contents are, and that's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I don't know how it compares versus other things, and I'm not trying to skirt around the issue. I simply don't know how it compares to others. So I would probably ask people. He did a VR response video. Oh, Uncle Dan? Okay, that's great. Can't wait to not watch it. Thanks for letting me know. I'm sure he backtracked. Out of 100 importance, gym, recovery, nutrition. Each one is 100. Each one is 100. I see many guys that love the gym that do not take nutrition seriously. Probably 50% of those that come to me just don't take nutrition seriously. Like what we're trying to do, you could say, if you're riding your bike, you just enjoy riding your bike or bowling or running for 2 hours or two miles a day. That's okay. That's just like general fitness stuff, and it doesn't require precision nutrition. Building muscle it can be very difficult if things aren't all in place. You can have highly inconsistent calorie intake and protein intake, or even food quality intake. Like, how critical is it? You need to have it reasonable. You really need to have it reasonable. And if you want to build muscle, you probably should be gaining a pound to a pound and a half a month consistently, and your calories should be nailed in to help you achieve that level. So gym and nutrition need to go hand in hand. Recovery, it's like people over obsess about recovery, but it's something you need to take seriously, and it needs to be more intuitive. Like, you can do a lot on limited sleep, and you can still train hard when your recovery is not there. But eventually, you need to get to the point where you need to be able to listen to your body. If you need a rest day, take a rest day, right? If you feel beat up, take a couple of days off. That's where recovery enters into the mix. How to ensure shoulder joint health stability. First and foremost is the bench press. We have to control our bench press. We can't be wild. We can't be bouncy. We can't be arms flared. We have to take our bench press form seriously. So one thing I teach is for folks to row the bar towards their chest. That requires control. Do you have to take the bar to your chest? No. Hanging the bar high by an inch or two over 30, 35 years might actually be a little bit better for shoulder health. But that can depend on limb lengths and that sort of thing. So that's not a rule. That's just a general thought. And you want to have balance. You want to have balance because a lot of guys just do pressing, bench pressing type movements. And they have overdeveloped front delts, and then their rear delts and side delts aren't worked as hard. So if you are a lifter, you need to have your shoulders, back, and chest trained pretty equally, at least equally, if not a little bit more back work. Once you develop a reasonable amount of strength, you need to stop going heavy every week, right? You need to probably rotate, use some form of periodization. So you're not going heavy. I can't go heavy every week, right? It's just going to beat you up. So just some things to think about. And Josh is reacting to my my video response from Uncle Dan. I could care less. I could really care less what the dude has to say. If you're going to say something, he said, look, Bottom line is, a dude left a comment saying I was wrong about muscle building. I was wrong about muscle building. That's his. Those are his words. Okay, those are his words. And his words were, "I've never used more than a 30-pound dumbbell, and if you train heavy, you're going to get injured." Those were his words. He can backtrack, retract, unload, deload, reload, do all the monkey piss he wants. Uncle Dan, you wound yourself a shitstorm of stupidity, and I don't really care what you have to say right now. The fact that you're going to backtrack or unload or deload or reload or rework, you can't rework those words, Uncle Dan. You can't rework them. You was just stupid, Uncle Dan. You was just stupid. You said stupid shit. I don't care what you have to say now. I don't care. I don't care what your retraction statement is. I don't care what your clarification statement is. You said, I don't know how to build muscle. Okay. Then you start your own channel, Uncle Dan, and you let everybody know how you built those 14.5-inch pythons with 30 pounds or less. Because I really don't give a shit. I got a mission that's to get as big and as strong as I can, and I don't want to be moving around pussy weight. It's not fun for me. You can move around pussy weight if you want, Uncle Dan. You can, really. You can. And look, I gave you some compliments, Uncle Dan. You're not fat, so that's good. I've been sub forever. This is my first stream. Thank you, pal, and I appreciate you joining me. Who has the best genetics in natural bodybuilding and why? Who would you vouch for in terms of factors involving muscle belly size, symmetry? I got to admit, Adam, there's a lot of guys I've run into over the years and, worked with. But I'm not really up to date on the last 5 to 7 years on the natural bodybuilding world. There's folks that I've met in person, like the Hodge twins, who just have amazing genetics. And they're not natural bodybuilders, but they've had some of the most amazing genetics I've ever seen. So I wish I could answer your question better, Adam, but it's probably better answered by somebody who's a little bit more into the current scene, if that makes sense. You bet. Thank you. I appreciate it. When should your client train their grip strength, and when should they start using VersaGrips? I recommend every client use VersaGrips immediately. The reason why is because there's an extremely high percentage of, if you're training hard and heavy, there's almost 100% chance you're going to get elbow tendonitis. You might be the rare genetic freak to not get it, but it's a real threat. And there's no downsides to using it. As far as grip strength, do you want to train your grip? That's a personal goal. If you need to train your grip for some activity or function, go ahead and train your grip. I don't advocate grip strength training unless somebody wants grip strength training. I think you get enough grip work just from grabbing barbells and dumbbells. And unless you got some severe issue, I just don't I don't see the need for it. If you want to do it, fine. If you enjoy it, fine. But as far as muscle and strength building, there's just no urgent need. Thanks, Mickey, and thanks, Paladin. RDL or deadlift? Whenever you're faced with a question, one or the other, the answer is almost always both. So in this case, the answer is both. Anybody that works with me, I have them do both. What's your opinion on using weighted vests in walking lunges, squats, and conventional deadlift? Conventional deadlift, I don't know. That's kind of silly to me, because you're adding a different dynamic. Like the bar weight is where the bar weight is, and if you put weight on your chest, it's going to move your body forward or back, and I really don't like that at all, even if it's on a micro level. Same with squats. Just use squat weight, right? Unless you're out of weight at home and you have no choice, then I could see it. Just be smart about it. And you said you don't have access to a gym to load more. Okay, that's fair. If you don't have the ability to load more, then just listen to your body, because it could slightly change the dynamic or feel of a squat or deadlift. And it might only be on a small level, but it could be on a noticeable level. So, Juan, I'm okay with that in your case. But you still have to be really, really focused on how it may or may not be impacting your form. Sebastian, if I do 6 reps but form broke down on last rep, is the weaker limb really getting 6 reps? Sebastian, you're over worrying and over complicating things. Just get stronger over time. Love the Hodge twins. They're actually really good guys and really good businessmen. Sebastian, I'm not being dismissive, but this doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is getting stronger over time. There's always going to be a weaker limb. And the only thing you can do is get it stronger. Adam, check AJ Morris. He looks great for a natty bodybuilder. All right, now I got to check AJ Morris. And I'll let you guys look. There are some guys that I used to work with that I knew they were natty, and then now I'm like, they ain't natty. I don't know about this dude, though. We're going to pull up AJ Morris. What were you at, AJ? Where you at? All right, we got AJ Morris here. Here's the big reveal. Look, AJ looks, you got some quads. Not a lot of great balance. Not necessarily the best symmetry. Kind of you look at his abs and stuff. Things aren't symmetrical. This isn't criticism. This is just how they judge bodybuilding. I don't know. I find that to be kind of a, good muscle, but I wouldn't put him in anywhere near one of the greats. I love them more, but they came out for Trump. Not sure what that means. Sorry, I missed that one. What's your opinion on knees over toes guy? There's a lot of stuff. I follow him. And there are some stuff like that people are starting to pull into their lifting regimen that isn't, people are crossing wires with knee health and strength training. Just be careful not to do that. When I'm doing Romanian deadlifts, my grip gives up first. That's why you should be using VersaGrips. You increase your grip strength by using VersaGrips. You should get so strong that you can't grip that RDL. So that's one reason why you use VersaGrips. You never let a weak muscle group impact the growth or progression of a smaller one. Reg Park looks much better. And Curse Baby said that's an older pick. His 2000 look is better. 3x5, 4x4 progression. That's not a progression. Are you saying progress from 3x5 to 4x4? I don't even know. Those aren't progression approaches or setting up schemes. So I'm not being dismissive. I just don't understand the question. The Hodge twins you mean the Hodge twins went to Trump and all their political stuff. Yeah. They have a channel. I got you now. I understand. Yeah, they, I don't know. If it's their passion, go for it. Like some people start out in fitness and their passion really isn't fitness. So they springboard elsewhere. The Hodge twins did it. There's some other voices out there that started out in fitness. I'm not going to name channel names, but now they never really talk about, they spend half their time talking about other things. So whatever, it's their passion. My passion's lifting and fitness. No hate on anybody. Just want to say thanks for all the great info. You do an excellent job making things simple. Thank you, and I appreciate that. I sincerely do. All right, guys, I'm off. Hour and 34 minutes in. Thank you guys for joining me. If you want coaching, head over to superlivingtoday.com. Click the coaching tab. And I'm with you every single day for only $80 a month. Adam says, rate yourself out of a 10 and looks 12. Absolutely a 12, Adam. Absolutely a 12. And when I stare deeply into my eyes in the mirror, sometimes it's a 13. Thanks, Paladin. And thanks, Chimp Muscle. I'll talk to you guys next week.